The massive space station Horizon Prime hung like a gleaming silver wheel against the dark backdrop of space. Una Park walked through its bustling diplomatic corridors, her lightweight blue diplomatic uniform crisp and professional. At 19, she was the youngest human representative ever assigned to the Galactic Council's most critical negotiation station. The station buzzed with activity. Alien delegates from dozens of species moved through transparent walkways, their various technological augmentations glinting under soft artificial lighting. Holographic translations flickered constantly, creating a symphony of interstellar communication. Una carried her datapad, reviewing final notes for the upcoming trade negotiations between human colonies and the Centauri Confederation. Her dark hair was pulled back in a neat ponytail, and her eyes reflected a calm determination that belied her young age. Something felt different today. The usual diplomatic chatter seemed more tense. Whispers traveled faster than usual between alien delegates. Some gave her strange looks that carried more than casual diplomatic curiosity. She passed a group of Krellian diplomats, their scaled skin shifting colors subtly, a sign of emotional complexity in their species. They went quiet when she approached, their conversation abruptly stopping. Una noticed but didn't react. Diplomatic training had taught her to remain composed. The central negotiation chamber was a massive circular room with transparent walls showing the infinite starscape outside. Delegates from various star systems were already seated, their translators humming softly. Una took her assigned seat, her fingers lightly touching the communication interface. Minutes into the discussion, she noticed unusual transmission interference. Her communication system started flickering unexpectedly. Something was wrong. Suddenly, a high-pitched energy surge echoed through the chamber. Before anyone could react, a massive plasma burst erupted near her workstation. The blast was precise, targeted directly at her position. In that split second, Una understood this was no accident. The explosion consumed her instantly. Her body, her dreams, her potential, all vanished in a millisecond of devastating energy. The negotiation chamber became a scene of chaos. Alien delegates scrambled, some in shock, others quickly activating emergency protocols. What they didn't know was that this single act would trigger a response unlike anything the Galactic Council had ever witnessed. Back on Earth, in a secure, military complex buried deep beneath the Gobi Desert, Admiral J. Kim received the transmission. His weathered hands clenched into fists as he watched the recorded footage. The video showed Una's final moments, a bright, promising life extinguished in a calculated attack. Her parents, Hyun and Maria Kwan, were research scientists who had dedicated their lives to interstellar diplomacy. Now their only child was gone, murdered in what was supposed to be a neutral diplomatic zone. The Galactic Council's initial response was dismissive. They claimed it was a technical malfunction, a convenient explanation that satisfied no one, especially not the humans who had lost their youngest and most promising diplomatic representative. What the alien civilizations didn't comprehend was the depth of human resolve. They saw humans as a relatively new species in the galactic community, ambitious but ultimately insignificant. They believed they could brush aside the death of a young human diplomat without consequences. They were catastrophically wrong. In secure facilities across Earth, a plan that had been decades in preparation began to move. Secret research programs, quantum weapon development, and stealth technology that had been hidden from even the most sophisticated galactic surveillance were about to be unveiled. Una Park's death would not be just another statistic. It would become the catalyst for a response that would redefine interstellar politics forever. The galaxy had just made a fatal mistake, and humanity was about to make them understand the true meaning of consequences. In the cold, silent depths of space, the first quantum encrypted signals began to pulse. Earth's secret fleet was preparing to emerge. The military complex beneath the Gobi Desert hummed with quiet intensity. Rows of computer screens displayed complex algorithms and star charts, while engineers and scientists moved with calculated precision. Admiral J. Kim stood at the center of this hidden world, his eyes fixed on the holographic projection of Una's final moments. Hyun Kwan, a quantum physicist and Yuna's father, worked tirelessly beside a team of the most brilliant human minds. Their fingers danced across advanced interfaces, unlocking technologies that had been kept secret for decades. Each keystroke was a step towards revenge, each calculation a promise of retribution. The secret fleet was more than just a collection of ships. It was humanity's ultimate insurance policy, a technological marvel hidden from every galactic scanning system. Quantum encrypted jump points, stealth technology that could render entire battleships invisible, and weapons that defied current, scientific understanding. In a secure underground laboratory, a team of engineers finished calibrating the last of the quantum pulse cannons. These were not ordinary weapons. Each could destroy an entire space station without leaving a trace of its origin. The technology was so advanced that it would look like a natural cosmic event to any external observers. Maria Kwan, a specialist in xenotechnology, reviewed the final designs. Her daughter's death had transformed her from a peaceful researcher into a cold, calculating strategist. She understood something the Galactic Council would soon learn. Humans could turn grief into the most powerful weapon in the universe. The military had been preparing for this moment for generations. Secret research facilities spread across Earth, the Moon, and hidden orbital stations had been developing technologies far beyond what any alien civilization could imagine. They weren't just building weapons, they were creating a complete strategy of total technological superiority. Satellite networks invisible to current scanning technologies quietly activated. Each one was a piece of a massive puzzle that would soon reveal humanity's true capabilities. These weren't just communication devices. They were strategic nodes that could disable entire planetary defense systems in milliseconds. Admiral Kim reviewed the final attack plans. The strategy was simple yet devastating. They would not just respond to Yuna's death. They would completely restructure the galactic power dynamics. Every target was carefully selected. Every move was calculated to send a clear message. The secret fleet consisted of 117 ships, each one a technological marvel that could destroy entire alien fleets without being detected. Quantum drives allowed them to jump between star systems faster than any known technology. Stealth systems could make them invisible to even the most advanced scanning equipment. In a small room filled with holographic displays, young military strategists worked on psychological warfare protocols. They weren't just planning a military strike, they were planning to break the spirit of the Galactic Council. Every transmission, every strategic move was designed to instill absolute fear. Hyun Kwan made a final adjustment to the quantum entanglement communication system. This technology would allow the fleet to communicate instantaneously across vast distances, something no other civilization had achieved. It was humanity's ultimate technological trump card. The preparation wasn't just about weapons. It was about sending a message that would echo through galactic history. The Galactic Council had made a fatal mistake in underestimating humans. They believed humanity was a young, inexperienced species. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Maria Kwan looked at her husband. Their grief had transformed into something more powerful, a cold, calculated plan of total revenge. Yuna's death would not be in vain. She would become the catalyst that would reshape galactic politics forever. As the final preparations completed, a sense of quiet determination filled the underground complex. Hundreds of the brightest human minds worked in perfect synchronization. Their goal was clear: justice for Yuna and a complete restructuring of humanity's place in the galactic community. The secret fleet was ready. Earth was ready. And the galaxy had no idea what was about to happen. The quantum jump points opened silently, like invisible wounds in the fabric of space. 17 stealth ships materialized simultaneously across different strategic locations in the Galactic Council's territory. No sensor, no scanning system detected their arrival. Admiral J. Kim watched from the command ship, his fingers hovering above the activation panel. One touch would unleash humanity's hidden fury. The ships were black as deep space, their surfaces absorbing rather than reflecting light. Each vessel carried enough destructive power to obliterate entire planetary defense networks. The first target was the Centauri Confederation's primary communication hub. A quantum pulse burst through its central systems, transforming advanced technological infrastructure into molten metal within 37 seconds. No explosions, no warning signals, just complete, surgical destruction. Simultaneously, 3 other critical communication stations suffered the same fate. The attacks were so precise that alien civilizations wouldn't immediately understand what happened. It would look like massive technological failures, rather than coordinated strikes. Hyun Kwan monitored the operation from the underground command center. His fingers moved across holographic interfaces, tracking each ship's progress. Years of secret research were now bearing fruit. Humanity's technological superiority was about to be demonstrated in the most brutal manner possible. Quantum weapons left no trace. No radiation signatures. No electromagnetic disturbances. Each strike was calculated to remove strategic targets without revealing the full extent of human capabilities. It was a message written in the language of absolute technological dominance. Military strategists had spent decades preparing this moment. They understood that the first strike wasn't just about destruction, it was about psychological warfare. The Galactic Council would be left confused, terrified, and completely uncertain about the source of their sudden technological collapse. 17 critical installations vanished in less than an hour. Communication networks crumbled. Defense systems became useless chunks of advanced metal. The human fleet moved like ghosts, untraceable and unstoppable. Maria Kwan watched the real-time holographic displays. Each destroyed station represented a piece of revenge for their daughter. Her scientific mind appreciated the pure mathematical precision of the attack. No wasted energy. No unnecessary destruction. Just pure calculated response. The alien civilization's initial reaction was confusion. Their most advanced scanning technologies had been completely neutralized. How could entire communication networks simply disappear? The first reports suggested massive system failures, technological anomalies. But as more data arrived, a terrifying reality began to emerge. This was no accident. This was a deliberate, sophisticated attack by a civilization they had grossly underestimated. One by one, Galactic Council representatives began receiving fragmented reports. A communication hub in the Orion sector, gone. Strategic defense platform, near the Carina Nebula, completely disabled. Multiple research stations transformed into lifeless metal husks. The human fleet moved with calculated precision. No civilian targets were touched. Every strike was a military installation. Every destruction a strategic point. It was a message written in the language of technological superiority. Admiral Kim's voice broke the silence in the command center. Phase 1 complete, he said quietly. The words carried the weight of decades of secret preparation, of a species that had been waiting, watching, and preparing. The first strike was not just about revenge for Yuna. It was about redefining humanity's place in the galactic community. No longer would they be seen as a young, inexperienced species. They would be recognized as a force to be feared and respected. As the quantum ships prepared for their next phase, a single transmission was sent to the Galactic Council. Short, precise, chilling. Justice, it read, has begun. The emergency session of the Galactic Council descended into chaos faster than anyone could predict. Representatives from 17 different star systems crowded the massive circular chamber, their communication translators flickering with panic and confusion. The Krellian ambassador, his scaled skin turning multiple shades of anxious blue and gray, slammed his communication device. 17 strategic installations completely gone. No traces, no signals. How is this possible? Holographic displays showed the extent of the destruction. Each destroyed communication hub represented a massive blow to galactic infrastructure. The most advanced scanning technologies had been rendered useless in a matter of minutes. The Centauri Confederation's lead diplomat stood trembling. Her neural implants were useless, the sophisticated tracking systems completely neutralized. Whatever had attacked them was beyond their current technological understanding. "It must be the humans," whispered the Andromeda Cluster representative. His statement was met with nervous laughter. Humans, a species barely recognized as a serious galactic player? Impossible. But the evidence was overwhelming. The precision, the complete technological shutdown, the surgical nature of the attacks. Only one civilization could have executed such a perfect, strategic operation. Admiral J. Kim watched the Galactic Council's panic through encrypted quantum transmissions. Each moment of their confusion was another victory for humanity. They were experiencing what humans had felt when Yuna was killed: total helplessness. Maria Kwan analyzed the transmission logs. The alien civilizations were fragmenting, their sophisticated communication networks in complete disarray. Their first response was not unity, but fear and self-preservation. The quantum communications revealed interesting psychological patterns. Some civilizations were preparing defensive positions. Others were looking to negotiate. A few were considering immediate counterattacks. But humanity had anticipated every possible response. Secret weapon systems were already programmed to neutralize any potential retaliation. Stealth technologies made human fleet movements impossible to track. Each alien attempt to gather intelligence would be met with calculated misdirection. Hyun Kwan reviewed the psychological warfare protocols. The goal was not total destruction, but total disruption. Make the Galactic Council understand that humanity was not a species to be ignored or attacked without consequences. The quantum pulse weapons had done more than destroy physical infrastructure. They had destroyed the psychological sense of security that alien civilizations had maintained for centuries. No civilization had prepared for an enemy that could strike without warning, without trace, and with absolute precision. The Galactic Council's emergency session continued, but it was clear that no real decisions could be made. Fear had replaced diplomatic protocol. Confusion had replaced strategic thinking. Another transmission was sent. Simple, direct, chilling. This is only the beginning. Earth watched and waited. The first phase of their revenge was complete. The message had been sent. Humanity was no longer a species to be underestimated. The galaxy trembled, and humanity had just started. The psychological warfare was working perfectly. Each moment of alien panic was another step towards complete galactic restructuring. They weren't just seeking revenge for Yuna. They were rewriting the rules of interstellar engagement. No diplomatic protocol could have prepared the alien civilizations for what was coming next. Humanity was coming, and they would remake the galaxy in their image. One precise calculated strike at a time. The quantum fleet remained invisible, waiting for the next command. Admiral Kim's fingers hovered over the activation panel, ready to unleash the next phase of their perfect, devastating plan. Humanity arrived at the Galactic Conference with cold, calculated precision. Admiral J. Kim led the human delegation, his presence more powerful than any weapon. Behind him stood Maria and Hyun Kwan, the parents, who had transformed personal tragedy into a systematic restructuring of galactic politics. The conference chamber was silent. Alien representatives sat frozen, their sophisticated communication systems still partially disabled from previous human attacks. They looked like children waiting to be judged by an unforgiving parent. "These are our terms," Admiral Kim said simply. The terms were brutal in their simplicity. Complete restructuring of galactic diplomatic protocols. Mandatory compensation for Yuna Park's death. Strict limitations on alien military capabilities near human territories. Complete transparency in all future interstellar communications. Ketkir, Krellian ambassador, tried to interrupt. A simple hand gesture from Kim silenced him. No one spoke. No one challenged. Hyun Kwan presented technological evidence of the attacks. Holographic displays showed how humanity had systematically dismantled entire communication networks without firing a single traditional weapon. The psychological impact was devastating. Maria Kwan managed the legal frameworks. Each clause was designed to ensure human safety and prevent future attacks. Her scientific mind had transformed diplomatic language into a precise weapon of its own. The alien civilizations had two choices: accept the terms or face complete technological annihilation. They chose submission. 17 star systems signed the new Galactic Charter. Each signature was an admission of human superiority. Each document represented a fundamental shift in interstellar power dynamics. Humanity was no longer asking for a seat at the table. They were now building the table. The compensation was significant. Technological exchanges, resource allocations, and strict monitoring protocols were established. But more importantly, a clear message was sent. Humanity would protect its own, no matter the cost. Unipark's death would not be forgotten. It would be the moment that changed everything. The quantum fleet remained positioned strategically across critical galactic regions, a silent reminder of human capabilities, a warning to those who might consider future aggression. Admiral Kim's final statement was simple and chilling: never again. The Galactic Council had learned its lesson. Humanity was not a young, inexperienced species to be dismissed. They were a technological force that could reshape entire civilizations with surgical precision. Maria looked at Hyun. Their grief had transformed into something powerful. Justice for their daughter was not just about revenge. It was about ensuring no other parent would experience their pain. The new galactic order was born from a single moment of tragedy. A young diplomat's life had become the catalyst for a complete restructuring of interstellar politics. Alien civilizations would tell stories about this moment for generations. The day humanity showed its true potential. The day they proved that technological superiority was not just about weapons, but about strategy, intelligence, and an unbreakable resolve. As the conference concluded, a holographic image of Una Park was projected, a silent reminder of the human cost, a symbol of the transformation that had just occurred. The galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had arrived, and they were here to stay.